Hello everyone. I want to talk about and show a little bit about making ghee butter. What I have here in the pan is a pound of butter, so the 4 sticks that you get, and they're put on medium-low heat just to initially start to melt. I like to use a pan that has a larger surface area at the bottom so that more of the pan is exposed to the heat, because you'll see as we move through, and definitely when we finish this, you'll see how the milk solids actually stick to the bottom of the pan. So it's nicer to have a bigger surface area. So it's a pound of butter on a medium-low heat, and then have ready for the end of your production a glass jar that's clean, and I use a metal sieve with, and this is the important part, is cheesecloth, and that's where we'll filter out all of the milk solids. So what happens in ghee butter is that we bring it to a low simmer, and as it simmers, the milk solids actually congeal and stick together, and then we strain them out so that your butter that you're left with, which is called a ghee butter or a clarified butter, is pure. All those solids are removed. You can cook with it at a higher temperature. In terms of digestion, it just gets absorbed so beautifully. And I'll speak also of a couple of other uses for the ghee. In the meantime, it's going to melt and then start to simmer. What do we do? Just cut the sound out of it when we do it? So what's happening here, you can see that the butter is melted. You see the yellow of the butter and the white on the top. That's all the milk solids that you can see. And that, when you're cooking and you put butter on and it burns so easily, that's the milk solids that are burning and coming together. And so that's essentially what we're doing here. So again, it's continuing to change, and you can see from the way that the fats on the top and the milk solids, not the fats, the milk solids look on the top, they're now changing their grouping. And this is the time, don't go too far from the stovetop. It's a very short time between, cooking the ghee and burning the ghee. You can give it a gentle swirl, and then it comes back to bubbling. You can see it's not as noisy, and that's because you've got the fats all across the bottom. The milk solids across the bottom. And you can see the quality of the top has changed. This is the moment to be very careful. Use your nose. And I'm smelling right now. I want to turn this off before it gets any browner. Turn it off and let it sit for maybe 2 minutes before you strain it. Pour it through the cheesecloth. Now this is unbelievably hot. Be very careful. And you can see at the bottom of the pan, just see all that, the cooked bits. And in the strainer itself, in the cheesecloth, you can just gather those corners together and just press it a little, just gently, being very careful not to burn yourself, to get out the last bits of the butter. So the ghee butter will take about 2 hours maybe to become solid. It can stay out at room temperature. Actually, even in the summer, it can stay out at room temperature, and it will last for a couple of months. It's good for a while. So you can use the ghee in your baking. You may notice the cookie recipes have it. You can use it in your cooking in place of an oil. It's wonderful to melt and then cook your onions. I will write about it, and recently I've used ghee butter during the seasonal allergy time when there's been a lot of irritation around the nose and up into the eyes. Rather than using something like a sesame oil, which is has a lot of heat to it and will aggravate skin that's been chafed, you can use the ghee butter and just rub it not only around your nose and your eyes, but also right inside your nose to keep all of those membranes lubricated. All right, enjoy cooking your ghee and using it.